Welcome to Beyond Emotion, where real stories find their voice. I never imagined I'd be the woman telling a story like this. I was always so sure of myself. You know, the kind of person who says cheating is a hard line and absolute deal breaker. No second chances, no excuses, just gone. But life has a way of showing you that your certainties aren't as solid as you think. I'm 33 and I've been married to my husband, who's 35, for 8 years. We were that couple. The one everyone pointed to as relationship goals. We were steady, we were loving, and we were never ever dramatic. At least that's the story I told myself. That's the life I thought we were living. 3 months ago, that perfect picture shattered into a million pieces. My husband sat me down and confessed. He'd had an affair, and that wasn't even the worst part. The other woman had just given birth to his child. The funny thing is, I didn't scream. I didn't throw a lamp or start breaking his things. I just went numb. It was like my entire body shut down, and all I could feel was this cold, empty void where my heart used to be. The betrayal wasn't just the physical act. It was the secret life he had built, brick by brick, without me. It was every single lie he told while looking me straight in the eye, day after day. My mind started replaying everything. Every time he said he was working late. Every business trip. Was he with her? Was he thinking about her when he was lying next to me? How many moments of our life together were actually a performance? The questions were relentless, a constant looping horror film in my head. I asked him to leave. I told him I needed space to breathe, to think. It wasn't because I hated him in that moment. I was too numb to feel hate. It was because his presence in our home felt like a ghost, a reminder of a life that was now a lie. Those first few weeks alone were the hardest of my life. I barely ate. I cried until I had no tears left. But in that silence, in that profound loneliness, I started to learn things. I learned that a broken heart doesn't actually kill you. It just changes you. It breaks you open, and in that brokenness, there's a strange kind of beginning. I learned that the pain I was feeling was both an ending and an invitation to figure out who I was now without the life I thought I had. And I learned the most surprising thing of all, that forgiveness isn't about weakness. It's not about letting someone off the hook. It's an act of radical strength. He called me every single day. He sent texts. Not the annoying, pleading kind, but messages of deep, genuine remorse. It wasn't just, "I'm sorry, can we just move on?" It was, "I know I destroyed everything, and I am willing to spend the rest of my life rebuilding from the ground up, even if you don't take me back." And he backed it up with action. He started going to therapy on his own. He cut off all unnecessary contact with the other woman, setting firm boundaries for co-parenting. Most importantly, he took full, complete responsibility. There were no excuses. He never once tried to blame me, or our marriage, or the circumstances. He didn't minimize what he'd done. He just owned it. He owned all of it. And slowly, so slowly, through the fog of my pain, I started to see glimpses of the man I married. The man who held me for hours when my mom passed away. The one who worked 2 jobs without complaint when we were so broke we could barely afford groceries. The guy who would bring home my favorite ice cream just to see me smile after a long day. The man I fell in love with was still in there, buried under a mountain of terrible mistakes. So I made a choice. It's a choice I know a lot of people will judge me for. It's a choice my own friends have struggled to understand. I chose to forgive him. Let me be clear, it wasn't easy. It wasn't a magical overnight fix. And forgiveness does not mean forgetting. The scars are there. I still have days where the anger and the sadness wash over me like a tidal wave. But I remembered something else, something more important. People can make devastating, life-altering mistakes and still be capable of real, profound change. We're in couples therapy now. We're learning how to really talk to each other, maybe for the first time. We're setting boundaries. We're learning how to heal, both together and separately. It's hard work. It's messy. Some days it feels like we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And yes, I chose to accept his child. That little boy is innocent. He didn't ask to be born into this chaos. He deserves love, not resentment. And honestly, the first time I saw a picture of him, my heart didn't fill with anger. It filled with a strange, aching compassion. He's a part of my husband, and if I'm choosing to rebuild a life with my husband, I have to accept every part of him. Our marriage will never be the same as it was before. That innocence, that blind trust is gone forever, but maybe it can be something different. Maybe it can be stronger. Maybe a love that has been shattered and then painstakingly pieced back together is more resilient than one that has never been tested. Some people will say second chances are a fool's game, and maybe sometimes they are. But I believe they can work. They can work if both people are truly willing to fight for the same future, to do the grueling work of healing. I've learned that forgiveness isn't for the weak, it's for the brave. It's for those willing to face the deepest pain and choose love over pride. Healing takes two people choosing each other, every single day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Second chances only work when the change is real, the effort is constant, and the love is stronger than the hurt. Our story isn't over. In a way, it's just beginning. Thank you for listening.